Hi, welcome to VideoBlog. Thank you guys for checking out the website. I had a marker here. Aldi took it and it's going to stay there. Let's use this. So I know exactly where to stand in proportion to this little screen here. I don't have too much range, but I wanted to do a video blog for you guys. I'm sure by now you've heard the Extemporaneous podcast. And I want to kind of throw out these extemporaneous video vlogs because it's probably going to be the realest thing you guys are going to get in terms of interaction with myself until the seminars. So probably to derive the realest interaction with you guys is to, we'll have some where I'm actually interacting with other people. But I feel if it's not scripted or anything like that, I have no idea what to talk about right now. So that's going to enable you guys to kind of get a feel of who I am and pick up some things and as well as the things we talk about. So you'll notice it's kind of casual in terms of what's happening right now. I just got back from the Ville. So I'm trying to arrange an after hours. Well, there's one already set. I'm trying to see who's all on board to join us. A lot of I'll be honest with you, a lot of the social interactions and things, especially when it comes to bolstering, going out and interacting with people in Aggieville, you'll notice right now I'm completely sober. So a lot of people go to Aggieville and just get sloshed and things like that, and that's fine. I've definitely had my fair share of that. Trust me, but there's also a beneficial thing to be said about going out with the intent of not drinking and just kind of observing. And tonight was one of my, I guess, in-field research cases, if you will, where I didn't go out with friends. I just went out with the sole intent of observe. And of course, there's people I'm going to run into that I know and things like that, but main goal of just observing and picking up on different things and seeing the interactions, what bolsters are working, what different areas those are supporting, if those constructs that they're supporting are actually playing off different angles and things like that. So those that's what tonight has been about. And then maybe at the after hours it'll be kind of like my coffee break. I guess this is my coffee break. Except Coke Zero. But I am a Pepsi Max man too. I gotta give that to Pepsi. You hear jingling, little Aldi's running around. Johnny boy. Maduro. Sit on board. Do a little research with me. The great thing about going out and interacting in Aggieville and those kind of situations, it's like, what is that? Hey, come here. It's like on a night tonight, I can get ready and go out and meet people. And I met a couple really nice Army guys tonight that were just talking to me about, one was from Louisiana, his name was Bo, and he was talking to me just, I'm out back and he's over in a different section, and he goes out of his way. He's like, hey man, come stand by us. And I was like, at first I was taken back because I'm just kind of observing, doing my thing, and I was like, well, typically that's kind of a threatening situation when there's three dudes, kind of bigger dudes, like, hey, come stand over here. But whatever gets the information, right? Well, sure. So I walk over and I meet these guys, and I meet Bo and his two friends, and I'm working on names, but you meet so many people, they kind of all get combobulated. But, and so Bo's talking to me and finding out my major. I find out he's in the Army. I find out he's from Louisiana, which I could have pegged with the bright yellow shirt he was wearing. LSU fan. Which they won today, so go LSU. If you're an LSU fan, that is. K-State won too. Congrats on that, finishing out the season. So I'm meeting him, and these situations you get to actually interact and see, people's body language, if they're slouched over, if they're upright, shoulders back properly, arms down at the side, just kind of, but yet relaxed. Or if someone's kind of inward, if they're holding their drink in front of them. All these different things, you're picking up the subtle cues that are going to kind of allow you to build bolsters that are going to promote the biggest advantages in your interactional skills. And those interactions that you're going to have with people, be it out of the bar district or at a job interview, even with your family, the nonverbals and the actual social interactions, verbally and nonverbally, are going to leverage your potential to just completely become mobile. And like I said, multiple times, being mobile is about not just being able to move in between different classes or stratifications or things like that, but having the freedom to, not care, if I'm out at the bar and someone's like, look at this guy in a leather jacket, what a tool. Being mobile and having complete social mobility is not letting that affect me, and if it does affect me, it's going to be in a positive way. I'll go over and, hey, so I see you don't like leather, or I hear you don't like leather, and actually get to meet them. And I'm working on saying, so if you are tallying them up right now and thinking like, God, he says that way too much, I'm working on that. I'm not sure the origin of it or why it actually happens. It's one of those social dynamic tidbits. It's an unnecessary bolster that's been put in there somehow. I've picked it up along the way, and now it's just stuck into my frame, and I need to take it down and fill it with something else. So after I met Bo and I'm observing other people, this nights like tonight, you get to go out and observe. Even if you're not drinking, you can observe and get to a point where you're actually working on your social skills in a large setting. And then we're going to shift to the after hours, which I get to work on my social skills and observe in a small setting. And then tomorrow, if I meet someone tonight, I can work on my individual social skills. I can work on my social skills via media, Facebook, texting, different emailing, things like that. So there's so many tools just by becoming social and enabling a facilitation of talking to people, going out, just getting to know people. Even if you're not going out trying to meet and interact with the opposite sex, you can still go out and just meet people and have a good time, and it's going to exponentially increase your foundational design, as well as your bolsters are going to be pretty much built solely through reading things and applying them, and ultimately that's going to be like getting the material for them, and you're actually going to build them by going out and interacting with people, testing things out, seeing what works, what doesn't work, different things like that. Yep. These are all things that I've been working on, and with this extemporaneous video blog, I really don't have, other than working on saying too much to deliver in terms of content that I've thought about that's ready to be conveyed right now. We have just finished a pretty good chunk of material for you guys that I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be, it's quite innovative stuff, and you're going to see a big difference between the material delivered through other avenues in terms of when you go to a bookstore and you're looking in the self-help section. You're going to see book after book after book. Maybe audiobook, or maybe a DVD or seminar series that have been presented. And these are all, I encourage all that, because the more you're trying to better yourself and develop these tools from every different source, not just what I'm saying or what Anthony Robbins is saying or what Stephen Covey is saying. You need to be exposed to all of them first to enable yourself to pick different aspects and piece together the best system that's going to work for you. But the biggest thing with all these different avenues, I guess we could say, it's mainly bolster development. And in the book there is a chapter on bolster development because that's a big deal. It is a big deal. And it is a large part of, you know, bettering yourself and bettering those around you. But that's just a piece of the puzzle. And so why then, when we go up and we're like, hey, let's find a self-help book, why are they all pretty much the same thing? There's a marginal difference between every self-help book you're going to find. I shouldn't say most self-help books you're going to find out there. And what I found is that it is good to pick and choose different things, but really it's just delivered in different ways. The focus has been self-help. It's self-help. But it's just looking, all this. Crazy. It's just looking at the self and not the big picture. You can't better yourself unless you know how yourself operates within the system that is placed. And we are placed with, all of us, we're placed within a system. Our society is a system that we have been placed in. And so we can do as much as we want to better ourselves, body language, voice tones, you know, designing our systems of thought, belief, I don't know, motivation, things like that. But until we fully conceptualize it, how we move throughout the system that we are all placed, there's only going to be so much that you can grasp. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. And some of the feedback I've been getting on the book is it's so socially based. Yeah, but that's because it has to be. Because that system that we're all in, we're providing you with the ability to move, full mobility, to move throughout it, however you want. So when you're reading through and reading these different things, keep in mind that this is not just, this is how you better yourself. There's a reason, like on the title of the book, it's not how to better yourself. It's how to gain control over every aspect of your life. Bold claim, as I've been hearing, but if you think about it, it's really not. Just the same way we're mastering our foundational design and gaining control over that. That foundational design is for you, but it's also, you can look at it as a broad societal scale. That's also a system that we're moving throughout. And so once you understand the system, how it operates, how it functions, well, from there you can what? You can start learning it even further, mastering it to where you can actually build and restructure. And then from there you have complete control over the system that you're in. And the system you're in is ultimately controlling all the different aspects of your life. And so if you have full mobility throughout that system, don't you have complete control over every aspect of your life? I think so. But this will be fun. Boss up. Not a lot, man. What are you up to? So I should head that way soon. Okay. All right. Yeah, I will. I'll text you and let you know what's going on, and I'll see what little Miss is doing right now and what her plans are. But I'm thinking either way, it probably wouldn't, like, if I hang out with her, it probably wouldn't be for a little while, so I'd probably at least be able to stop by. And then, well, that'd probably be good, because then I could stop by and kind of see what the situation's like there and then decide if I want to still Mm-hmm. Alright, your T is going to be there for sure. Your T is going to be there for sure. Okay. Alright, well, I will text you and I'll be in touch. Alright, man. Bye. Making arrangements. You have to excuse me. You got a little bit of live interaction there. Talking to a freshman right now. She's a cutie pie, but it's almost like I started writing the book freshman year, and it's almost like as I'm developing, I guess finalizing things right now, it's almost like we've come full circle. It's like vicariously through her, I'm getting to re-experience the beginnings of the book, and now that we're back full circle, like to finishing it, it's quite a, I don't know, it's an eye-opening experience for me. So I appreciate that she was able to do that for me. You know, that's another example of a system where there's a very narrow vision. I like this person for a specific reason. This person's nice, we connect really well, we have chemistry or whatever. But once we shift our focus a step back and go outside the entire big picture, what is this person doing for me that they have no clue that they're doing for you? You know, everybody in your life is doing something on some level, and you may not be aware of what it is yet. But they're doing something for you that's, I guess, putting lean or a weight on one direction or the other on your life. So every person that's in your life is contributing to, he's wanting to play, is contributing to your overall happiness, and these weights that are getting put onto you that, you know, that I was just talking about, you may not know are there, those are other areas of control. And so when I say you can control every aspect of your life, there's a little bit of a gray area to where you know, physically, mentally, you can't control every aspect in a sense of seeing and predicting what's ahead. But if you have the proper tools in place that allow you to react one way or the other way, or even more importantly, not at all, if you can control your reaction to the things happening in your life and couple that with the tools that we provide to minimalize these outside forces to a point to where they're just so minute. That's why I said this is just a little gray sliver area of, I don't want to say not being able to control it, because the entire thing's based on control. But this gray area of, I guess we'll put, the word we use is fate. This little gray area of fate that we have no control over. It's predestined in a sense. I mean, things have happened to set it in place. One event is built off another, of course. But once we can control that to where, you know, right now in but I mean in generalized, in everyone's life, the margin of gray area is pretty wide. Because things are coming and happening and going, and A, we don't know how to make these things as small as we can, and B, when these happen, most people are just reacting. The system's putting forces on us, and we're just reacting to it in an, I don't want to say unintelligent, but uneducated way. And so what we can now do is first make that margin as small as possible. RCF, moth effect, all these different tools. Just get that margin as tiny as we can get it. And then on the other side of that, we can control our reaction through the tools VAES, knowing the foundational design, the ins and outs in our interactions socially. And so once we do these two things, you have complete control over your life. There's a gray area of premeditated events that are going to occur to everyone. Things that are just part of life. Death. Everyone dies. At some point, you are going to have, from the gray area of events that you can't control, you can get that smaller. If a loved one is an alcoholic, you can convince them not to drink more, and you know, if they listen, then it's going to be smaller. You're going to get a little more time with them. But at the end of the day, there are things that you can't control. And so once we minimize that, once that death occurs, we've maximized how much time we're going to get with that person by minimizing the gray area of the event happening. It's going to happen. But if your foundational design is structured properly, your VAES is in balance, you've been maintaining it with intentional grounding, you know, the hierarchy, you now are responding appropriately to where it's not going to throw you out of the design. And yeah, the death occurred, but you have control over how you respond to it. That's all for today. I gotta get going.